History is first imagined, then it's written. And before people are remembered, someone has to tell the story. Today's guest understands that images can become archives through painting, symbolism, and personal storytelling. Onke Siwundla creates work that intersects memory, identity, spirituality, and cultural reflection. His work interrogates three important questions. Who gets remembered? Whose stories survive? And what does it mean to create work that is deeply South African while speaking to the rest of the world? Beyond the canvas, Onke has worked across advertising, production, and creative strategy, giving him a unique perspective on how culture is shaped, packaged, and shared. Today, through Onke Art Studio, he is building more than an artistic practice. He is building a platform for African stories. This is not simply a conversation about art. It is a conversation about memory, identity, imagination, and the role artists play in shaping culture. This is the edit, and this is Onke Siwundla.
Thobela le guy, ke motšhene ka leyena, mo space sao. Le hono ke dutse le Onke Siwundla, an artist. What else do you think I should actually say? An artist, a photographer, a creative.
Yeah. Also, it's a lot. I get you. It's. I want to say visionary, but visual artist is a basic grouping of everything.
Because I'm asking that because every time you try introduce someone with a title that you think you know, and then they're like, actually, I'm a, flip it around. Yeah.
Nah, but I think also titles are just titles.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really mean anything.
Yeah.
I'm just a creator. That's sounds egocentric, but I just create. So whatever medium I find to create, then that's where I think makes the defining hard. Then when someone just calls me by this one thing, it's like, no, I also do this.
So let's get behind the titles then, since titles are just titles. So who is Onke? And maybe just share maybe an earliest memory of your childhood that you feel like was a defining moment for you personally to say, and like, why am I like this? Or what am I about? Or what I see myself doing as an adult?
Onke. So also just to put a kind of a spanner in the works, Onke is my second name.
Yeah.
My full name is Aqolile Onke Siwundla, which means all at peace.
Yeah.
So when we usually, the way that the naming convention at home, there's always a second name that it's like a poetic thing.
Okay.
So it means Aqolile Onke Amawush, which is my clan name.
Yes.
Ojali, by my existence. So Aqolile Onke Siwundla, let's say now Onke.
But what
is
was
from
happening
Eastern
with that call? What was
I think it was the time. I wouldn't say it's directly meaning that I am at peace. They are at peace, like family.
You brought the peace.
Yes, brought. Yeah.
Before Figa.
I don't think so.
There's no conversation around that.
I don't know. I think I don't know, because the person who named me was my great grandfather. Yeah. My mom told me once, just random, that she wanted to name me Ulindisipo. I think that's the name. Lindisipo means waiting for the gift.
Yes.
So, but then my great grandfather is the one that named everyone in the family, so he just gave me this name, and from that, I it's just now I have these two identities that I'm like, I wonder how would I have been if I was Ulindisipo, But also it's quite ironic that I found a gift earlier on, So grew up Eastern Cape, born and bred there, with my gran, because Oledi was still spanning. I hope I'm not, because also I'm Kulmis Venek, Zoshama subtitles.
Hey man, this is South Africa. 11 official languages, bro.
Cool. So I grew up in a small town called Hanki.
Yeah.
So it's like hanky, There's
Yeah.
different ways, but it's where
Exactly. Yeah.
Yankee, yeah, it's where Sarah Patman, if anyone remembers,
yeah.
well, her remains were buried.
Okay.
Yeah, so growing up there, Ikasi, small town with my grand, and then would go back in Makaya, Ipatawet. That's where I was born.
Okay.
And then fast forward to like, I think I was 9. If you remember, I'm a Bona magazine.
Yeah.
So I used to like reading Bona magazine, especially the back page, Yamachimbus.
Yeah.
So there's a day that I just picked up a pen, a pencil, and a paper, and I drew Shele Rubin. And then I rushed to my Chris Amang now I think it was Pijo. But the main character, man, the short guy. I just forgot his
Main character on what?
Amachimbus. The cartoons at the back of Ibon.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I just forgot his name now. But not forgot, but it just slipped out. But when I saw that, and
Speedo. Yeah.
I went to my grand, I'm like, bang, you know. I drew the same thing. She was like, oh wow, you know. She gave me that thing of like, oh, you know, it was a validation to me.
Yeah.
From that point, and then like growing up then.
Yeah, shout out to her, man. That's important.
Yeah. I'm a Dragon Ball Z, you know. That was the thing, and I was just known as that kid gay.
Oh, so that's why the hair. Okay.
I guess. But it's also weird because I used to have dreads, so
yeah,
it would have been like another phase of my Super Saiyan phase. But yeah, I grew up like that, and the defining moment was, I think it came later, but you know, when you're doing something and you're not paying attention to, you only sit down and you like thinking back. That's when I realized, like, no man, I had this as from a child.
Yeah, from being a child.
So I liked doing things with my hands. So a primary, there's a time that I asked to go paint a creche next door to go do the war mural as a kid, and then fast forward to high school, I did the same thing. My high school was about to be opened, like it was a renovated high school, so they moved. Then when I got there, I spoke to the principal. I was like, I have this idea, because then I used to paint or draw like the Bible scriptures, you know, put it around when there's like big like sermons happening. So when I did that, I like and some stuff. So when there's a time in my life, not that far long, maybe around like lockdown time.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone was like indoors, having a lot of internal thoughts, you know, entertaining them. So I realized, no, man, this has been there, even though I didn't go to a school of art, you know. Okay. So, and also, it was a thing of, I wonder what would have I turned out to be if I went to all the right places. But also at the same time, I do not want to know, because I like the way that...
You'd have learned some of the bad habits.
I guess, you know.
Because for you to know a bad habit, someone must point it out.
Yeah.
So if without it, sometimes you get to have imperfections that are perfect.
Yeah.
So now it's still on where you started with it. You're telling me you were painting everywhere. So no one really in the family took advantage of this and say, hey, I think they manager or something spend and so you were not charging anyone to pay and just
nah. So it was one of the things was I think every black child has this thing of, I want to do this, especially if it's something that's creative, because black parents, especially in Eastern Cape and, you know, just in that environment at that time, I don't think art was a thing. It was just like, oh, yeah, and then it's like a hobby, not really a thing that you do for money. But there were people that were bebezama at that time. So for me, it was just like old lady. My mom was like very much of shy school, in fact, you know. Maths.
For Lento as well. You know?
Yeah. No, I think she knew. I think Besa's at that time, because Yeah, but then she's a scholar,
Yeah.
like she engineering,
Yeah.
so she.
Oh
she-
yeah, so obviously the
Yeah,
influence is
for her
that way.
for her kids, it's just like wow, I'm fine with maths, science, and even if I was so bad at those things, I tried. You
It
know?
was understandable.
Yeah, so there wasn't a point. It's only when I started doing like portraits of people, and then now my aunt, who's like my best friend, who I sometimes call my sister, because
Yes.
you wouldn't tell the difference. So she was like, yeah, you know, I must be your manager. But then it's not. It's always like passing and laughing. You know, not really like
Going forward.
yeah, like let's see your plan and let's work together. So yeah, it's never been like that. It's always been like, oh, look at this. Oh, actually, and I just remembered. There's this portrait here. So there's a time.
So the one behind you.
Yeah,
that man.
the portrait. Yeah, that's my great grandfather. So I painted him, I think, a year before he passed away. So one defining moment for me was like when family got involved. Was I had this painting, I posted it, and then at his funeral, the whole rollout for like obituaries and tombstone.
Yes. Was this?
Yeah, it was this drawing. Even in the banners and stuff, it was this drawing. So when I got home, and also we have a family. What is it? We have a family into abantu funeral parlor. So my cousin took the painting and did that, and then she didn't tell me. So for me, I was like, I was gonna be political about it, but like, why didn't you tell me? But then it just happened that it worked out. It was because I would have wanted to give her a high quality, a high res image, but it looked nice. And now when I got there, everyone was asking, so who had opened it up? You know, it's like we had draw. Hey, can't draw, man. You know, it's like everyone now in the rural area was like knowing of this, and they were like, you know, I have this image from the family picture and all that stuff. So it's only then that it became a thing of okay, known, but I am this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think just in growing up has been a thing of I've been that kid who's not straightforward in terms of like I was a loner at some point who just didn't why I liked playing, but I was playing in my own way, you know. So I think if someone who had an eye who was closer to me, who saw it, was my grand.
Yeah.
But my mom, because she was always like at work, blah, 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 so she really didn't have that seeing me become.
Yeah.
So she only realized later on that, oh, okay, now this
is different.
this gent is, you know, every time when even the first time she came to the studio, she was like, yeah, this is an artsy place. You know, I'm like, yeah, this is who I am, you know.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
I feel closer to whatever aura I'm channeling.
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
environments like this. I'm a person that always believes ukuthi I want to connect to either nature or amanzi.
Yeah.
There's nature too, but it's either land like in the form of intaba or amanzi. Something draws you to it. So I'm more of a intaba person.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm around mountains, like I feel like no, it's fine. I can pick the mountains over a beach.
Yes.
But also when I'm at the beach, I enjoy it. It's fine. But I just always feel something more
Connection.
Yeah, connection in Tabeni. You know what I mean? So tell me what's going on with Onke now that you know that you like to draw, but you're still being forced to do this engineering stuff, and at the same time you rebelling against it. Your system is rebelling against it. Something else is drawing you towards art. What steps do you take, and how, besides your great-grandfather's passing, actually introducing you to your whole family, what steps were you trying to take at that time to show them, but you know, this is me?
So there's a few parts. So grade 12, I wanted to be a computer engineer, a computer scientist, but mainly for game design.
Okay.
So there's a lot of backstory to it because Kule Nomakriza, if there's anything that is like, hey, Tsimale. So I knew that video games wouldn't be a thing for me. I used to go to my friends to play games. So, but I liked the world, the escapism of like playing games. So I thought, I was like, you know what? While other kids are saying, I want to be this, I want to be that, I was like, actually, if I would be entertaining this thing of being a person who's going to school for like these hectic studies of like science and stuff, I'd be a computer scientist. But then for gaming, because I was like, there is a part where art is also part of, because you're creating worlds in there. So, but then maths young shy, science young shy. But luckily, ngapuma bachelor. I don't know how. Hey, funny also, I did before I wrote. I was like, God, I don't know how. But ngicela nje ubi ngihlanganise nje ushaya spice lapho but ngifuna nje ubi and I got it. So from there I didn't know, I was conflicted now yet because I thought I knew, and then I was conflicted by my results, and then I was like, I don't think I have it in me to go back to school, because I also was doing maths for like 2 years, my extra classes, but I still didn't do like being shy 2 years of extra math classes. So my mom took me to a career advisor. So I had 2 sessions there. They came out with top 5 like best careers I could take would be like fine art, not in particular order, but I think fine art was the top 2, and then interior design, architecture, graphic design, so on and so forth. But I sat down with my mom and she was like, because also art is still a thing of like, I don't know anyone who's making money, and the whole thing is like, you need to make money, you need to, you know. And also I was out of her, because I'm boarding school after high school. So from there I've been like an independent journey.
Okay.
So varsity mangifika, I think I'm just hearing the next door that uzoshaya a spade. Just check. But I came to a conclusion with, okay, maybe graphic design. So I went to graphic design. I was like, cool. Mangshai graphic design, and also I'm still creating, so but it's a very much of a commercial way of saying your work is being out there. Went to study, dropped out twice, came back for the 3rd time. I was like, I gotta do this, because she still believes that, you know, you gotta have something under your belt. You know,
but are you dropping out because it hasn't clicked? This is the way you get to create in these days?
No, I think I'm a different. I think there's also a part of me with the mental health, not in a sense of. There's a story that was of Cam that kind of highlighted certain things, you know. So recently, also I went to the doctor just to like do not test, but just to see. They do these assessments. So that assessment kind of put it to me that, ADHD, you know. So, and I'm not saying it like I'm embarrassed. No, I always knew that I was ADHD. It's just that if you tell your parent you ADHD, it's like, hey,
what is that?
You know, you just so it's just relax. So I think the environment, because those places were fast. The first time it was.
But was this now recently? Was it voluntary?
When
like,
I went, yeah. It's just because I was like, nah, I think I need to go check it out. So I dropped out first. It was a weird story, man. I went out in Bram. I went out. I left my roommate and I locked. So my roommate was doing science. So he used to go to vets a lot of times to study. But when I came back, I think it was Street Fest. Those times the Street Fest, Bram. I came back at 3. My laptop is gone. And now this guy he's like blaming my friends. It could be your friends. And I was like, yo, I don't like drama. So, and it was around August. It was that we were doing reassessments of projects that we've done during the year. To qualify. I think it was 70% of those projects will be the defining mark of like plus your exams, and then so in that computer there were my portfolio basically and stuff, and then that got lost. I didn't have a backup. My hard drive also got stolen. So I was like, Oli, I don't know what to do now, because the school invited dog, try and do while other kids are studying for exams. I have to now start from scratch.
Damn.
I was like, no, this is too much. I was just like,
Yeah,
let me reapply to another school. I went to PE. There, I got anxiety and depression because it was a big school. A lot of kids. I'm a people's person, so I just didn't really grasp this thing of like after late class, when in class, after late class, and I go back home, do assignments, and come back tomorrow with that assignment. It was too much for me. So I got in. I also was around wrong people, at that time, and then I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Boom, that and also that time I didn't notice it. It happened when I was going to the computer room. Luckily, I was next to my friend. I was about to sit down. Hyperventilation, boom. Then it was June until August. I was in like different hospitals and stuff. And then I recovered, came back. I was like, okay, cool. Let me try again now. Came back to Joburg, AAA, School of Advertising. Then I realized that the difference of the environment is a small school. It's like a college. I can literally talk to my lecturer.
There's focus.
There's focus. They pay attention to you specifically. So I then kind of got into it. I was like, okay, cool. At least I also like designing and stuff like that. Plus, it worked out to my benefit, because at the time that we were doing Photoshops and them, the other kids were still starting, but Photoshop for me was like, it was that thing. So, from there, I loved the idea of being to create from your thoughts to commercial also. Until I started working, I was like, fuck, this is different.
But you see now, going to School of Advertising, I think that's where the system makes it better. They still allow you to be creative, but now you're going to be creative for a specific industry.
Yes.
Whereby it's going to be advertising. It's something else. So now, how do you separate the person that works in corporate and has to do things via brief, and then come back and still be able to do your own art, and be creative? And how do you channel that, and how do you channel your personal work?
It didn't click until later. When I started, I was still like I was painting when I feel like painting. I was not like serious about it. There's moments where after I started working, I was also like under so much pressure, and the fact that I felt like the environment was not working for me, and it was around like lockdown. I decided to resign because I was like, now I'm gonna go start painting. And I was getting a lot of inquiries with portraits, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna focus on this. I'm just gonna do portraits, and people loved it. I also liked to see. I loved it's not something that it just makes me proud. It makes me see the impact that I'm like, the gift that I have, that
instantly when you see someone react,
when I give it's like
portrait,
someone is seeing me. It's another feeling of like when someone cries by just looking at their picture.
Yes.
I thought for me, I was just painting someone, but then it got to me like, okay, there's something to this, so let me just focus on it. And then I realized, oh snap, I need a structure, without me having a structure of like how am I going to run my day, blah blah blah. I went to actually NYDA. I also enrolled to NYDA. They taught me a lot about business, how to what do you do when you open your doors. First of all, I got a certificate of like business management and stuff like that. So from there I learned, okay, you need to manage your time properly. Then I learned, before having to go back then now to a 9-to-5, because finances were cornering me. And I need to still structure. There's a lot of things happening, but I was like, okay, still I have a BA in creative communication. I also love the work, but I maybe don't like the environment. Let me rephrase or reframe myself. Let me look into film and production. So I went into being an art director in film. that was like my second step into like,
Yeah.
cool, let me go back. But then I went in knowing, okay, from this time to this time, spanning or mangvuga from 5 to before I go to work,
Yeah.
what can I do that can implement, like can make me the person that I want to be without having to cry about it and be like, but
I don't wanna do that.
Yeah. So I also I think I looked at the people around me who are artists, and luckily one of my cousins, the one that took the painting and put it on the obituaries and stuff, she had a friend, Umasona Bentlo, is a famous artist also. She one hlanganisa naye. So I was like, okay, cool. This is this, and I was like, this guy never worked a day in his life, like a 9 to 5, but he lives the life, and he's the artist. And then now, when my mom also knows him and sees him, I was like, here's an example of
what I want to do.
I want to do. It's just that maybe I just need to be serious like him, because he's serious about this job. So I just studied those people, like, okay, this person does this every day. You gotta put in the work. And also, I was also it's like when we all artists here, or like jive, and then when we jive in stage, when another guy introduces you, uyajiva naye, and when usaseshayo, we have that thing of like, I had a lot of what do you call it, ukuzidela, basically.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter, yeah. I couldn't. Every time like he introduced me to other artists around, like, he's also an artist, is dope. I'm like, because there's always this question. Okay, let's show me. I'm like,
then you don't come around.
No, I have stuff, but I don't feel like they impactful. So I had to reframe my whole life and be like, okay, cool.
But then how do you reframe it? How did you? Okay, now that it's intentional, you can see what's happening, but how do you reframe it?
It's just to to know that I know where I want to be. I know the vision is always has always been of, it changed a bit here and there, but it's like, I want to be an artist because I'm always envisioning an 80-year-old. Where would I feel like at peace?
Yes.
That guy is a 80-year-old guy with his farm. He wakes up, he goes, tends to his chickens or goats and stuff. The grandkids are running around. I have project cars that I'm working on, because I also like
vintage
classic cars. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a studio that I work on. So there I would literally take that and work it back. So how do I get there? It's not that it's like money, but not the money that makes.
You want wealth.
Yeah, it's wealth.
It's
wealth. Just
being comfortable, being able to grow old and still feel like you don't need anyone else to come take care of you. You did the work now so that you can be comfortable then.
Yeah.
You know. So Onke, on your Instagram, on your bio, it talks about Black masculinity, spirituality, and inheritance. And here at the edits, I think we were very much interested in the inheritance part of it, to say, what do you mean about it?
It's a word. Also, what I wrote there, I also forgot that I wrote it there, but it's also an ongoing conversation that I have in my head. I have a lot of internal conversations. So there was a day I was just trying to figure out. It was in between a session. I'm like, I need to define what am I actually painting for? Because there's this pressure from the art world of like, you need to have a style, you need to have. So it was in that process of like, okay, cool, I can paint. That's there. But how do I carve something that I can say, this is me, this is how I move? So I realized that what came into my consciousness was that I paint to understand myself better. I paint from, there's a different phases of my life that I've lived, and I'm always questioning and challenging those things. So inheritance comes into that in the part of what you were told to, like, this is how a man should be. This is how a black person should be, like umntwana wenza kanje. Look, so it's all of those things that by the teachings that have been instilled in me, that I sometimes just sit and be like, is it true? Because there's a lot of us in the world. So not to say that it's a bad thing, but to me, I take every conversation that I have with someone as a maybe until I experience it.
Yes.
So there's this box of maybes that I take from, of like, oh, okay, maybe that's how I define myself as a man. But how do I really unpack that? So it's taking from that box of inherited insights and beliefs and ways of living, and just opening up a pack. I'm like, oh, okay, today's topic is about religion. Today's topic is about mental health, or self-care, or so to say. So that's where it comes from, ideally. Yeah.
Okay, I think from what you're saying, I'm also interested in hearing what you would say on the topic. Like, what's this, Father's Day?
Masculinity.
No, like, also like black masculinity, but Father's Day as well, because I was saying to someone that I feel like Father's Day is not celebrated because fathers are not putting in the work. And then they're like, now I'm like, no, I'm not talking about the females when I'm saying that. When they say it, yes, you can try fight them, but as a guy, I'm saying that you're not just a father to your kids, right? So if you're not getting Happy Father's Day from someone else's kids, for your nephews and nieces, you want others, like kids that just know you around the neighborhood, because you're not representing yourself that way. But with females, you can have that feels like a mother to you. You can have somewhat, like, there's someone that also is a second mom of some sort. And on Mother's Day, you'll always say Happy Mother's Day to them too, because they are there, they are present in your life, you know what I mean? So it's cheetah sugupi these days, because Tina, right now we think it's cheetah and how we do things as just machita and stuff like that. But what is a man's responsibility when you look at how we were raised? Mina na usbi entabe, So I was taught things there on how a man operates. You were taught things on how a man is supposed to do things. And how there's other things that don't happen until ufika.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So take me through that. What do you think this shit that looks like and what it was?
I think it's, in a nutshell, it's to basically put is holding space for, because I don't want to say it's safety, because some people are not that inclined, like physique wise or knowledge of how self-defense, but it's to hold space for people who feel less inclined in those aspects of, like, here's an example, like, you have your kids, there's other kids that are visiting them. You have to make sure, without their parents being there, you have to make sure that those kids shouldn't feel like they're alienated from being kids or from your kids. You have to make sure that everyone is safe. It just goes on to other topics then in different scenarios. Like if your girlfriend or your wife is out with other girls, but you have to go pick her up. If you feel like the place is not safe, it's like going there, making sure, like, guys, right, Linda, or should I stick around just to make sure that nothing happens? It's holding space for just people to feel like they're seen and they listen to, especially the other gender. Right. So yeah, it's in a nutshell that, but I can go deeper, but
that's what by out means.
It's what it means. And I feel like 2026 and this day and age, we can go on and on about it because other people define it as different because it's not about the gender, it's not so on and so forth. But from how I'm taught, it's just to make sure that the things that need to happen, and if you have the capabilities of making things happen, to play your role.
Yeah,
that's as simple as that.
And I'm asking that because on how open you were about your mental health, So how do you think like guys should actually be comfortable with being free about deep things like expressing yourself, communicate, tell us what you're going through, you know what I mean? How does that help you become a better artist and a better man, basically?
Yeah, that's a tough question, but I think it just helps me be, because sometimes the scale is on the other side, sometimes the scale is on the other side. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm a better artist, sometimes I feel like I'm a better man, so on and so forth. But I think when it comes to mental health, from what I've been through and what I've gone through to patch up those wounds, made it easier for me to communicate. I realized that hey, we all go through these things, and when you just also make it a habit to help other people, you kind of realize that it's a song, everyone is going through the same thing. But now, how do you not overpower or overlook someone else's happening than like Mina? What's happening to me is more worse than yours. It's a thing of, even as a machida, we have this thing as a machida. When we've gone through some tough shit, we joke about it so much. Like, I think it's
the pain.
Yeah, it's not because it's funny, but it's just like,
True.
We just with you, we're glad that you survived.
Yeah.
And that's how we kind of toughen ourselves up.
Help you lick your wounds.
Yes. And it differs in other aspects on how other gents do it. Some other gents are quite tapped within their emotions and what's going through. So they have group chats and be like, yo, machida ngikho this week, and then gents would come through. It's like this, the new wave of nappy pride.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay, let's go support
dope, yeah.
Umchide. That's a form of support and forming that brotherhood. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's dope, bro. So now tell me, you told me that you love being closer, like, which is dope, bro. People must express themselves that much, like just as much as Zulu people love expressing it. Tsonga people love it, Venda people love it, Pedi people also now. So, what would you say being closer helps you with your creativity? Like, what do you borrow from that?
It's weird because I was gonna say this because this interview has been going without me speaking isiXhosa.
Yeah.
Because I always just to put it out there, if anyone is watching this and asking themselves, I always feel like when I'm speaking closer and no one understands me, it's like I'm gonna lose this. Yeah, I speak fast, so I tend to just code switch a lot. So for me, like being a Xhosa kind of helps me like narrow down my point of view in life, because a lot of times there's like we can all be doing the same thing. It's like singathengisa amavege sonke la sistrategy siyi-one, but how do you do it differently? It's about those things that you were taught, the stuff that, like the way that sikhuliswa ngayo like emakhaya is different. And I've realized like learning other people's traditions, there's this nuances that are the same, but there's certain things that make me Xhosa. Like a simple thing would be like as a kid ukuyolusa, like you're going to fetch the cows and I had I had the luck of having to have that experience also. being as a kid, I didn't like it, but now as I grow up, I'm like, I wouldn't mind even doing that for my kids, or because it's a different exchange. So you know that in your playtime, makushayo 4 ilanga lila, you must now go yolanda inkomo, and all of that. And during that, there's things that you learn. There's like plants that you go past, and you're like, oh, like sometimes awufuna uye endlini.
Izinkomo zizokhawatheka.
Yeah, awufuna ukuya endlini, but ulambile. We know that, oh, if you go to that bush there, there's some apples, there's some certain berries and stuff. So it's those things, man. It's like, it's not just being a umxhosa, it's umxhosa ukhulele emakhaya and ekas. It's a but also I grew up in both situations, so my perspective is way more broader, but also it narrows me down to, okay, I'm this person who grew up in this side of the world and this side of the world, but yet it doesn't mean that I must be different in any way, shape or form than my other brothers who Abasemakaya or Abasekas. I'm still the same guy. So yeah, but it's mainly the teachings, man. I would want to name a few, but I cannot pinpoint. But it's just that
it's in the DNA.
It's like the way that uklonipha abantu abadala. Like there's a thing back in the days that they used to say, umuntu omdala akabheke emehlweni ma ukhuluma naye. If you would say it now to this day, it's like, whoa, that's taboo. Why not? Because when you realize that, okay, when you ukhuluma nomuntu omdala, there's teachings, or they're asking you to do something, and if you're looking at them, it feels like you standing, like toe to toe or head on with them. But when you're looking down, it's a sign of respect. It's not that you putting yourself, making yourself small,
All those things have changed. Even just like ukudlula umuntu omdala these days, starting, or you walking into a room, got doctor, you can just come in and sit without
greeting. Yeah. Ungene taxi ungabulisanga. It's another.
Weird. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you had to greet. You would greet umuntu omdala. Okay, bro. So now, fast forward, you starting the studio. What makes you start the studio? Do you have the brand now established, or you still figuring it out, but you like, yes, Ganjan, I'm going to do this?
Well, that's another story. So I opened the business side of, without having to be the artist that I wanted to be. Then I was still in the design world. Oh, I want to design. So it was first Oval Art Studios with other gents that I wanted to work with. Yeah. And then it didn't work out. I just went to register it, and then I was like, okay, cool, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an agency, design, do out some work and blah, blah. That was like, 10 years ago. From the growth and looking at it, and it's like, okay, this also, I need to define what Oval Art Studio means. And it didn't sink until I realized, wait, there is my initials, AOS. And I think it's my mom who used to also call me like that sometimes, like, hey, she's just, when she's texting me, and I'm like, oh, there's something to this. And then I realized the naming is also OAS. So Onke Art Studios, when I changed it, also had to define it in terms of like, not just changing the name, but changing the narrative of what it stands for. So from then, Onke means all. So it was a platform in my thinking and in my like working out how I'm gonna plan it out. That it's a platform for black kids who didn't, because I realized I had the luxury of being in places that other kids that I know back home that have the skill to draw, to be an artist, but they don't know where to go, or because I've had those conversations a lot.
Channels,
So it was for me a thing of, cool, this would be a platform for all the kids from back home who have the gift, but not to necessarily teach them how to draw, but how to monetize the gift. So now knowing that not all kids will want to draw, some would want to work with wires or sculpt and stuff like that. So that means it's a hub basically of all the like arts, but also it's a management company, so to say. And then it just, for me, I tried so much that to try to make it work, but then 9 to 5, me wanting to be my own artist, that kind of, I was like, oh, this is too much. For now, let me just manage Onke through this company. Okay. So most of the time that we do Ilenduza, I do stuff, I like invoices and stuff, I do them through Onke Art Studio. Okay. So that there's a paper trail, just to get myself in that headspace of like, this is business. It's not like I'm just waking up to paint and send it to someone. Yeah. So yeah, it started without knowing that this is where it's gonna be. I just opened a business. I was like, all right, let me see where it's gonna go. So fast forward to now, it still is a working in progress. There's so many times that I've said, I'm gonna drop this. I wanna go deregister, and then they say, yeah, but please pay the taxes first. I'm like, what's the point then if I'm gonna pay taxes and then deregister? So let me just still keep it. So yeah, it's been a love and hate, but I still feel like it has a long way to go, you know. And that thing that I was just talking about, I feel like it still has. I'm still gonna see it happen. Yeah.
So now, do you have specific pieces that you feel like speak to your style, that someone can now 10 years from now say, hey, this is Onke's work, or all your work you feel like speaks to your fabric?
There's like, when we go back to titles now, there's a thing, because each art pieces, or like whatever, like art is put in categories. So there's difference between modern art and contemporary. I would call myself a contemporary artist. It's not about how the image looks, because the image, the artist style, or I would say language, is usually thing that is seen visually most of the time. So when I was working out myself, I was like, I do want to find it, but I get bored to do the same thing over and over again. Yeah. But there are nuances that I can use over and over again, which is the clouds. So for me, I think the cloud, when I started working with the clouds, was the kind of defining factor. And then the conversations that I just putting what the context of the clouds and the human figures in there kind of made me realize that, oh, these are conversations that are happening in internally. Yes. So the clouds are kind of a space in between. So it's a space where I can it's like dreamland, or the place where no one can tell me, oh, this is how you should do things. Yeah. So I would say yes, but I've always felt like, no, I haven't gotten it yet. Yeah. But then some people, I get this realization, get a DM, like, oh, how did you find your style? I'm like, I don't think I found it. Yes. Yeah. So it's so strange to me, and I'm like, because to myself, I just told myself, look down and work. Just work. Do whatever you can. Just find a way to work around. And then, if then it comes out, then it comes out. But if it's not, still work. So it makes me glad to feel like other people are realizing it. Maybe it's not in a scale of like, whoa, you know, like as a simple William Kendrick, or like a Terrence Maluleki, who's like it's defined. You know that this guy, wherever you see who you go, you find it. Yeah. I think also it's objective. It's up to a person. I do what I can do. I just apply myself, and then if a person realizes it, and if a person doesn't realize it, it's also a surprise factor to it. I like surprises, like, oh wow, oh, it's this guy. You know? So it
feels like you're creating a pathway instead of creating something that you want to make it go fit into something else. like saying I'm doing this because I want to reach this certain level and then be part of a certain club. That's not what I'm feeling or hearing from what you're saying. So, bro, what are you currently working on that excites you, and what do you think audiences can look forward from Onke Studios?
So let's just also put it clear. I want to say Onke Art Studio, there's a lot that I can be working on. It's just that there's no time for it now. Focusing on Onke as the artist, because I wear different hats in that sense. From my side, there's the work, like a new body of work that I'm working on, like from this, what you see in the background is an evolution of the work I started, like with the paintings of In the Clouds and stuff. But when I started it was more about funny enough, there's a painting with that one with two of me in the portrait. It was supposed to be a portrait, and then it evolved to be like that. So there's also been a question of people asking me, why do you paint yourself? And I'm like, you guys are not educated about art. There's a lot of famous artists who painted themselves, and people bought that. So it's like, are you scared of buying?
The most popular one, almost with the blue eyes, long blonde hair.
Or Leonardo da Vinci?
No, wasn't it Michelangelo?
Michelangelo also, all of them. Yeah. Even though Basquiat was doing it in a very artsy way, but because it's you put yourself in the mirror and then you reflect. It's how you tell the story. Gets more enticing and beautiful when you're putting it in a pure view of yourself.
Yes.
So for me, this work is still kind of a pure view of myself, but I'm kind of it's basically a conversation about yet again the I want to say mental health, but also I'm not a scholar of arts, so these big words that these guys come up with, sometimes I'm like, yo, I cannot even find myself saying those words. But easily put is that there's an ongoing conversation that I keep having with myself about like who I am and the transition of where I'm from, in terms of like what has happened before and what is happening now. And then there's the in between that I'm always like, because one of the beliefs that I move, like I kind of go around life remembering is like is that I believe in miracles. So I can start something not knowing where the end goal is. So what I just hang on to the excitement. If it excites me, that's my North Pole.
Okay.
So I use that. With this work that I'm starting to, I've worked on, has been of the chat, like the conversation, because there's another piece that I had with four people, but it's myself just sitting in a circle in clouds. One is sitting and observing, and all the other ones are like in different sitting in differently and different hair color. That conversation, when I posted that picture, most people were like, they got it, like self-starve. Someone even said that, like self-starve, or like it's more about the conversations that you have. There's always that one voice that decides, regardless. So it's like you're gonna hear this and this idea, but there's gonna be that one that says, okay, it's time to do now. So do this way. So this conversation, it's more of now from the point of the coming and going of, like, I think also mourning, remembering people and how I feel in that setting. Reflection of those things. And also I'm a person who, like, I would love, sometimes I'm like, I would love to have like inyembezi zokukhala sometimes, because there's sometimes where I'm like, yo, Zakai, but
to drop it here.
But for me, I realize that as much as it happens, but there's a way that I take out the turmoil that's happening inside. So to answer also another question that you asked earlier on was, how did I find the time? So I realized I have 2 hours when I get home. I need to paint. What am I painting? So sometimes the idea comes out from just me working on another idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't. So I built a system where I start painting. When I'm finishing that painting, I put another blank page to work on. So I work piece by piece, not holistically, but when I step back, I'm like, oh, there's a world around here that I've created. So
It connects.
easily put, I'm working on myself. It's anything that has to do with how I view life, how I perceive other people perceiving me.
Okay.
You know, it's that
Dope.
dichotomy. You know, so
It's like you've got 3 mirrors. You can
yeah.
see the back of your head.
Yeah.
I used to like doing that as a kid in big speed, like just to see.
I won't ask Gunda.
I don't think I will. Yeah, bro. So here on the edit, we like ending the show with a retrospective from our guest. I'm gonna start a sentence and you just finish it off. It could be directed to whoever, you know. But yeah, the sentence is, I leave you with this.
Do what you said you are gonna do. That's like that thing that you said. Go do that thing and see how you feel and do that more. That's the best place you could be as a person.
Yeah. Be consistent, my gang. Keep doing it. Kaliyina, I'm out. Onke, thank you.
Thanks, man. Lovely.
Hola.
You know.
All the best, man, with all your work.
Thank you.
Shout out.